Hey guys, all right, let's get started into this. As I said earlier, this is one of my best topics, so I can actually talk on this topic alone for days because perception marketing as such, we've been using it from last few years. Unofficially, I started at this stuff about 4.5 years or 5 years ago. Without knowing it, started to sort of stumble upon this and started to apply this strategy in our business, in one business, the second business as well, and officially started work on this about 2.5 years ago. Very, applying this strategy precisely to one goal, or having one goal in mind, to take the business to the next level, right? That was the only goal. And how can we take this business to the next level? So let's get into it. I'm going to cover a lot of stuff today, so I just want to make sure that you guys take lots of notes, and because it's going to be a lot of stuff, we're going to go through this. And this is one of my favorites, so I'm going to talk quite a lot. So just make sure that you ask question and stop me if I'm, if you have any question on this. So let's get into it. I've got a slides here as well, but also I'm going to talk some other stuff as well. But let me start with these slides, and then we're going to go from there. Hang on, let me share my screen, and then we go from here. So cool. All right. So let's get into it. Today's topic is perception marketing, how to make people know you, like you, trust you fast, right? So that's the entire reason for this. We call it a perception marketing. So who is this training for? Very specifically, it's for business owners, right? If you're not a business owner, then this training won't work for you, right? So one of the number one reason for the business owner is to reach more audience, reach more people out there. And if you want to do that, this is for you. You want to create a predictable and sustainable business, this is for you. And if you're looking to grow your business fast, right, you want to take your business to the next level, this training is for you. Stick around with me for next 30-40 minutes to 60 minutes, and let's see how long it takes, but we're going to cover a lot of stuff in today, I promise you. At the end, you'll understand this, how we've been doing it, how we've been using it in our business, also in our clients' business as well, and making it very predictable. See, one of the things which I learned, and I had the similar problem as well when I started this journey, is when I worked for somebody else, everything was kind of really predictable, right? Because I knew it at the end of the month how much money I'm going to get. Very predictable, very consistent. As long as I have a job, money is going to be coming in, right? So when I started in the business journey for the first time, I found it really difficult, and I know a lot of people out there, find it really difficult. So one month is really cool. You're super excited. You made $15, $20, $30,000. Next couple of months, nothing there, right? And this is what happened, right? In the business world, this is the way things are. And one of the things is, some people just get used to it. They say, I'm used to it. I know it's going to be down. They just become accustomed to the way the predictability happens, right, in the business world. So let me ask you this question. Can you relate to this, right? In your business world, does it actually happen, right? Does it actually happen? So sometimes it's pretty cool, sometimes it's not that good, right? See, when I'm in this space as well, I had the similar problem. One month went really well, the other months were not that good, and I didn't like that roller coaster, and it sort of gave me a bad feeling in my stomach. When you have two kids and a wife and a mom to feed in the house, it's not um, it's not a good feeling, right? So not having this consistent income coming in. So I had to find a way, right? I had to actually find a way. How do I actually do it? What other people, uh, yeah, how to find a way to compare, how to find a way which I could actually predict stuff, which I could actually say, yes, this is consistent. This is how it's going to happen. How to create a system, how to create a machine which works exactly that way if you do certain things. So it took me a bit of time. So to be honest, wasn't that easy to begin with. So I had to go ask for help from a lot of people out there who helped me in this journey as well. So I certainly can't take the credit for that. I was the one who invented it. No, absolutely not. A lot of people out there who helped me along the way in this journey, a lot of coaches, a lot of mentors. I actually asked for help. So this is what I do now, to go out and do for other people and other businesses, right? So goal for today is to show you exactly how you can make people out there, the audience, to know you, like you, and trust you fast, using this method very specifically called perception marketing, right? So very specifically, how to make more people know you, like you, and trust you fast, right? So here is what most people are doing today. See, when I got started in the social media journey, or I say social media bandwagon, right? See, what we did was, and we were told, and I was told as well, that we must do something on social media, right? We must do videos, we must do social media posts, must do Facebook lives, we must do LinkedIn articles, we must do YouTube videos, right? We were told that, right? And I did the same thing. I did 90-day Facebook live, I did 60-day Facebook lives, I did a lot of lives in that space. I did a lot of work. That was a lot of effort, to be honest. And I just got tired, but no money in the bank account, but I just got tired, right? Nothing happened in that space. So I tell you the reason for that, right? So people who give this strategy, they're not wrong. So I'm not saying they absolutely crap, that they're giving some shit kind of information. No, they're not wrong, but that information is not good in 2019, right? That information was good in 2014, 2015, right? It worked for me for many, many, many years, right? It worked for me for early on. When I got started in this space, it really worked for us in our business. But in today's world, in 2019 and going forward, it doesn't work. And I'll tell you the reason for that as well. See, at the time when Facebook was pretty new and they just kind of becoming that mammoth they are today, they were becoming that. They were not there yet, right? A lot of these social media platforms were pretty new. LinkedIn was new. Facebook was pretty new. People just started to learn more and more. And same thing with the other, any other social media places. They were pretty new, right? People just getting to know it. So what Facebook and LinkedIn or their algorithm, the way it worked was, when you put a post in, or any post in, or any Facebook video, or any lives, or anything you did, Facebook's interest was to show that to as many as friends you have in that, so that they get to see you and they like it, they get engaged, and they get started to use the platform, right? They started to use the platform. So the entire reason for Facebook was that they wanted people to come in on their platform. See, you invited your friends invited their friends. So until they did it, if they couldn't see each other's lives or post, they wouldn't be staying there for long. So Facebook was pretty good in that. The algorithm worked was, if you like something, Facebook would show you that you liked something to 5 or 10 of other of your friends. That was the algorithm. So at the time when you did any post, anything, you did all that, what happened was Facebook showed it to everybody in your friend group. Everybody was shown that, right? So fast forward 2019 now, um, Facebook has got almost 2 billion people. Now it's the other problem on the other side, a lot of people on the platform. So Facebook trying to make things very relevant to everybody, right? They're just trying to make things relevant. If they don't make things relevant, what's going to happen is, nobody's going to use platform as well. There's just too many people, too many things happening on the platform, right? So that was the main thing. So it's really, really, really important to understand this. At the time was pretty cool, but today, fast forward 2019 and 2020, next year as well, there's a lot of people on the platform, right? There's lots and lots of people on the platform. Facebook want to make sure that the information is relevant for people who are using it, right? So that's the main reason. So because of that reason, when you do Facebook Live, Facebook post, Facebook everything, it only goes to chunk of or number of your people in your contact list, right? Let me repeat that again. It only goes to certain number of people in your friend list, in the people they liked your page, in very certain number of people. Not everybody get to see it. See, this is what happens is, you probably have noticed it now, that a lot of people in the Facebook world, when you put a Facebook video or any other stuff, you only get 2 or 3 likes. Because what happens is, A lot of people continuously to see the same content from you every day. They are the only people seeing it, and they're kind of getting sick of it, right? They're kind of getting sick of it. They can't, they just don't want to hear that anymore because it's not relevant for them anymore. From Facebook's algorithm perspective, they're the people pretty close to you, right? But from a content perspective, they are not your target market, right? So understand this concept. So Facebook game has changed, or social media game has changed in last year or so, right? It's really different now what it used to be. So that's why the perception marketing is pretty cool. That's why it works, because the game which people used to play, it's not the game anymore. It's a different game. So if you don't change based on rules and regulations, what we have today, what Facebook's algorithm is today, what Instagram's algorithm today, it's just going to be, nothing's going to happen for you and your business, right? So you must play the game by the rules of today's rules, right? Not which worked in 2014 or 2015. Very, very important to understand this, right? So other people, what they do is they do a lot of social butterfly, right? They just walk around at different events trying to see people, right? So this, the reason for that is we all understand the importance of meeting new people. We all understand that more we meet new people, the better it is for our business, right? It's, if you're a business owner, you understand this, right? That more people you meet, the better it is for your business. That's why a lot of people go to events and stuff, right? That's why a lot of people just give the business cards without having the intention of um, being I mean, I can call it idiot, but being so stupid that just giving the business cards, right? Not having the interaction with people. So these are the things we all must know this, right? So to grow our business, we must meet new people all the time. So, but what worked in last many years doesn't work in 2019, and hence this new strategy called the perception marketing, right? So, as a business owner, you know that, right? It's just more people you know, more people like you, and more people trust you, more people will do business with you. It's a very simple rule in the business world, right? So in anything, right, in life, if you know that more people know you, more people likely to like you, and more people who like you likely to trust you, right? And then the people who trust you more likely to do a business with you. Very common thing, very, very simple thing, right? So but it's a big thing, right? Big thing. So really important, right? So let's look at this very, very quickly, right? So what's happening in world today, right? What's happening in today's world? So let's come into your side of the world. Let's see where you at today, right? So what's happening in the world today is due to this internet and social media from last many years, it's really easy for people to start a business, right? There was a time when it took you months and months to start any business, but it's really easy to start a business tomorrow. Tomorrow, I just open up a website, buy a space, and everything's ready, right? Within a day, I could have a business up and running. Only $500 I need to spend to do stuff, and that's it, right? So my business is up and running within very quick time. Because of that, it's good to do it, but it creates a lot of problems. So the problem here is there are a lot of so-called experts in the market today, right? A lot of experts, right? You'll find a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of people on every other platform or every other place is it's just an expert, right, at everything. So from your client's perspective, it's just really hard for them to find out who to trust, right? Everybody's out there kind of telling the same information. Everybody out there is saying the same kind of stuff. So the client is kind of confused, right? Your client is really confused. Because the client is confused, and you must know this, when the client is confused, they won't buy anything, right? Confused client won't buy anything, right? So just because they don't know who to trust, who to speak to, there's a lot of people out there making the same or similar kind of claims at the moment, right? So before we go further, does it actually make sense? Are you guys getting the point? Does it actually make sense? Does it actually make sense? Are you guys getting the point, right? So yeah, right, cool. Let me have a look on this side. So who else we have? Yeah, good, right? Does it actually make sense? Awesome. That's good. Good. All right. So your product and service, and this is a big one, right? Your product and service has got is a use value only. Your product and service only is a use value only. And let me explain this, what I mean by this. See, in the world today, where we are, if you're providing any sort of service today, whether it's a consulting, whether it's a coaching, whether you're physically actually doing some sort of work with people, you're providing any sort of consulting, right? Physically helping people, or providing any of the services, your service at the moment, or the product or the package you have, has got a use value. Means that people only get to see the value after they use it, right? So if you're providing a program today, for any kind of program, the program has no use until they use it, right? Until they consume the content, until they watch the video. I could actually talk about this video to 50 people, but until you spend a bit of time with me and understand the concept and use it, you don't have any value, right? So you only get to see the value when you consume it, right? So the only use, or the only way people can get to see the value, or after they use it, right? So if they don't use your service today, if they don't consume your service today, they don't get to value it, right? So you could actually say to them that it's a $10,000 package, or $10,000 this. If I work with you, this is I'm going to charge. So if you're in a business, you're offering somebody this much and you're charging something this much, the only way they get to see that if they consume it, if they use it, and then they get to see the benefit of it, right? So it's not just straight away you bought a diamond, which people has got a value, right? People can put a value out there. Today everything is a use value. So now the question is, wouldn't it be nice if you give them a taste of your stuff, just a taste of your stuff, and they use it a little bit and they get a massive value, right? They use it a little bit, whatever that might be, they use it a little bit and they get a massive value out of that, because when they do it, then they get it at the level that they can start saying, okay, holy crap, this thing works, right? Whatever you're saying. So means that until they use it, your stuff has no value, right? You can talk about it, I can say to anybody that this is what it is, but until you consume it, you won't find the value, right? Until you use it and apply it, you won't find the value. So you must consume it first. For you to consume it, you must make them consume it, right? You must make them consume it. You must show it to them, right? So let's talk about this perception marketing, and this is a very cool concept, and I had to dig down, and some of you guys are seeing it for the first time, who are part of the fast growth program as well. So here it is, right? So in the perception marketing, we have three things which are must be done before that, must be really, really, really sure. So we have audience, right target market. We have audience, we must give them right content, and we must deliver the way they like it, right? We must deliver the way they like it, not the way I like it, not the way you like it, the way they like it, right? So audience, content, and delivery, when it gets right in the middle, it's a perception marketing. This is the middle bit, we want to get it right? So we're going to go dig deep into this today. So just fasten your seat belts. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, right? So here is what we talked about few times. If you've been watching this content, if you've been watching attending these classes or live, we've been doing it. We talked about this quite a lot of time now, that sales is an elimination process. Sales is not that you just want to speak to everybody, right? So what you want to do is you want to eliminate people, right? You want to speak to a certain number of people. You only want to speak to the right people, because when the right people get the right message at the right time, right, they're the people are perfect client for you. Not everybody, because everybody is not your client, or not my client either, right? Everybody is not a client. So how we do it, so this is what happens. Like, you have a cold audience, you make them warm, you give them something, ask them to download something, you provide them, give them some sort of value, and they become warm. Means that they get to know you a little bit, and then they come to your website, they do certain things, and they become warm, right? So um, so this is what works, right? Most people doing, and I'll give you an example of this as well. So here just a simple example. So what I'm going to show you today is, it doesn't mean that it sort of stopped working. It works today. We still do it in our business, but this became part of the entire strategy, not the strategy by itself, right? What I'm showing you right now on this slide, it's a part of the strategy, part of the perception marketing, not the entire strategy. A lot of people use this as an entire strategy to build a database, build a list, build a business, right? So this is what happens. A lot of people, what they do is they just do a Facebook ad and direct people to some sort of opt-in page. So sending people to opt-in page and saying, hey guys, this is what it is, and make them click on the ad, get them to your opt-in, put their name, email address and everything, and then get them to download something, ebook, PDF, videos, whatever they might be. They download it, right? So it's just an opt-in page where people exchange their email addresses, name, and a phone number with something else, whatever you're giving them. So what happens with the time is you started to do a nurture sequence. We call it a nurture sequence in marketing world. Is you send them email 1, email 2, email 3, email 4. You kind of nurture them after 5, 6, 7 emails. So after sending 5, 7 emails, you sort of ask them to buy something from you, or you give them an offer. This is what the offer look like. So these days people send 7, 8 sequences of emails which are automated. They go day after 2, 1 or 2. This is what happens, right? So um, what it means is people, they see the sequences that at the end you offer them something, in the last sequence of emails. There is a bit of problem in this, and I want to talk about the problem first before we get into the next level. The problem in this is the biggest issue we have today with the emails, right? Very specifically emails. So you only get to nurture people who decided to opt in for you, right? Means that you only get to nurture people who decided to put their email addresses and put their addresses, all that. You only get to speak to them. That's number one thing. The second thing is you only get to send them emails. Email open rate today's world is about 7 to 20%, right? Depending which industry you're in. It's very, very small, right? Email open rate used to be pretty cool, but not anymore. So it means that if you're sending 7 or 8 emails to 10,000 database, only 100 or 150 people are clicking on it or even looking at it, right? So you have to have a big database to make it happen. If you're not, then it's really, really hard, right? So as I said earlier when we got started in this is good, and it's a part of the perception marketing. It's a part of it, but it's not the entire strategy, right? So don't use it as entire strategy. Use it as a part of the strategy when it works really well, right? So let's talk about what is perception marketing in that space. So in this one, we turn the things around. Turn around things a little bit better. So what it means is we nurture everybody out there. So let me explain everybody what I mean by that. So let me see. If I look at today's world, right, there is a lot of people in the world, right? A lot of people, but there is a certain type of people who are your kind of people, like your perfect market, your target market, your clients, right? They're kind of perfect in your world. Like these are the people look like, right? So you nurture only those people who fit in the perfect of your client portfolio or client avatar, right? Or target avatar. Um, you only nurture those people. So you only those people who fit in that space. So nurture is number one, then you make them warm, then you make them hot, right? This is the way it happens. So nurture pretty much everybody, not 1 or 2 people who decided to opt in, but change it around to nurture everybody. And let me explain this bit more. See, the first step of what we talked about was the audience, right? So you must be really, really, really sure who you want to speak to. Must be really sure who you want to speak to, right? Means that you must know who's your avatar is, who's your target market is. A lot of people make this mistake, and I made this as well. So I want to sort of point it out. There is a lot of people when they talk about target avatar, they kind of made it up. They kind of pick it up something saying 30-year-old IT guy, works in this company, has 2 kids. Like, they made it up, right? They just made it up. So there is no problem or making it up, but what it does is it's kind of very one dimensional, right? One dimensional, right? You don't get to see that. So I usually say to people is, when I talk about target avatar, don't make it up, right? Don't make it up. So in the last few years, you probably have served a lot of people, right? You know that, what your target market look like. So I want you guys to actually pick a couple of people from that bunch. Like, somebody you served, his name might have been Mitch, or I don't know, or Colin here, right? So, or somebody. So that, just pick it up the name and look at it, how they look like, how, what they do, exactly their clients. Like, because if you have that person in mind, exactly that person, right? Not anybody else, very specifically that person in mind, right? So if you have those people in mind, then you'll be able to have a better content in the futures, which we're going to talk about. So you're going to have a better picture. It's a 3D person, and you understand it, how the person look like, what that person does. Then you can actually talk about more in their frustrations and their pain. So number 2 step of that is, you must understand what's their problems, what are their frustrations, what their pain, what makes them frustrated, what keeps them awake at night, what is their thing which makes them awake, and keeps them awake at night, right? What are the things? So you must know these points. You must write it down. If you don't know people, you must interview them. You must speak to them, right? Go and speak to people who are those in your target avatar, target market, and go and interview those people and ask them what's their problem, what's their frustrations, and ask them what's their desires, right? Where do they want to get to? Where do they want to get to? What's their desire look like? What their desired future look like? Right? So ask them these questions. So the 3 part of this perception marketing, number 1 is audience. So you must understand your audience really well. You must know the person, not made of avatar, not made up avatar. You must know the person, right? Person. I'm saying human being, which has got a problems, which has got a desire. Exactly. You must know that kind of person to make this happen really well, right? So hope this made sense, right? So uh, don't just go out and made it up stuff. Don't just say, I'm just going to create a target avatar, just made it up. No, if you served a lot of people in the last few years, and if you have a business up and running, which I probably think you have, um, then you already know that what they look like, right? Who's that person in your business today? Who's perfect target market for you, right? So understand their problems, understand their frustrations, understand their pain today, and understand that where they want to get to, what is their desired future look like, right? So number 2 is a content. So number 1 was audience. Number 2 is content. There are 3 parts in the content. 1 is a relevancy, number 2 is a relatable, number 3 is a repeatable. And we're going to look at one by one, all this, right? So relevancy is number 1. Relevancy is your content. When you're giving to somebody, all that audience you identified early on, your content must be relevant to them. Your content must be relevant to them. If it's not relevant to those people, means that if you just made it up, that person early on, and that person doesn't actually exist in reality, it's going to be really hard to be relevant, right? Because you don't actually know that, unless you're really good at creating it, which is cool, right? So but it's really hard to be relevant when you don't know the person. So your content must be really, really, really relevant. Number 2 is your content must be relatable, right? I want to talk about these 2 things, which are really important points to understand this: relevancy and relatability. Relevancy means that um, you know people find your content really relevant to them, right? So you don't want to be say, for example, you don't want to be Ty Lopez kind of guy who probably have really good skill set, who's really good at what he does, but he annoy the hell out of people, right? Annoy the hell out of people. If you look at the comments, a lot of negative people out there, just for one reason: because people who are seeing his content probably not relevant, right? It's not relevant for them. On the other hand, we have people like Kervin Ray in this country. Kervin Ray's content is very relevant because people he's speaking to, very relevant, right? Very, very, very relevant to those people. So relevancy means that is that content relevant for those people, right? Relatability is, as a person, as a human being, are you relatable to those people, right? Say, for example, right? So this is an example, right? So if I stand up with Ferraris and everything in something, in my garage, and make a video and started talking about money all the time, I promise you, I won't be relatable to the market I serve today. Right, the market I serve today, they'll disappear because my target audience is not won't find it relatable, right? So very different target audience for that. So your content, you as a person must be relatable, because what people are going to ask is, the second, the person who's going to look at your videos, who's going to look at your content, they're going to look at the content relevancy first. Then they're going to look at, can I relate to this person? Is this person relatable? The third one is repeatable. Repeatable means that you're going to talk about a lot of stuff with those people, right? You're going to say certain things on the videos. You're going to talk about certain stuff on those articles, or anything you're going to write in the content, right? The person want to make sure that, is it repeatable? Means that if I take action on the things which this person is telling me, right, will I be able to get the same results? That's the question they're asking, right? If I follow what Jag's saying to me today, if I follow this, will I be able to get the same results as he's been getting? Right? That's called repeatable, right? Can this be repeatable? Is just somebody just won a lottery and said, I can show you how to win a lottery, and he's running or teaching that, right? Teaching that program that, oh, I can teach you everybody how to win a lottery because I won once, right? That can't be repeatable, right? So I don't know how long it's going to take to repeatable, unless somebody hacked the system in the lottery world. But that's not a repeatable process, right? So person who's watching your content, he must or she must feel that it's a repeatable steps, right? They can take the steps and they can get the results exactly that way. So here is the content stack look like for next 21 days if you're delivering this. In the next 21 days, as a perception marketing, we talk about my system, my steps, my processes. Means that I talk about my story, and I talk about my method, my system. So, and here is the nugget which you must write it down, right? The difference between buying from you or buying from anybody out there in the marketplace is your story and is your system, right? Is your story, is your system. That's the difference, because you must satisfy the left brain, you must satisfy the right brain to make sure that you create a trust, right? If you just talk about your story and you don't have a system, means that it's just the one side of things, right? You must talk logic, means that you must have steps, you must have a system which builds a trust. Give you an example of this, right? So a lot of people, if you're a personal trainer today in this world, right, a lot of people help people lose weight, right? A lot of people do the exercises, a lot of people do very similar stuff, right? So the problem with that is everybody's doing the same thing, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. And because of that, F45 kind of things or gyms come in somewhere and saying, this is a system, right? We have a exact system, which is F45, 45 minutes of, I don't know, whatever is there. That's a system, right? That's a repeatable system. And they come up with that, they become $1 billion business or millions and billions of dollars business, right? Why is that? Because it's a system. So if you're a personal trainer, you must have a system. How are you going to help people? If you are in any of our world, you must have a system, you must have a steps, you must have a method, so that people can see that your process has got a steps to help them. If you don't have it, if you're doing everything, it's just going to be really hard, right? So really, really hard. So second point was content, and number 3 point was delivery, right? So we talked about audience first, then we talked about content, then we talked about delivery. So delivery is really important. Timing, what time you should be running your videos, what time you're doing it, how frequent you should be running it, and what platforms, what channels you should be using it for your content, right? So it's really important. So I want to show you the channels and some of the timings. So channels are, they're paid channels: Facebook ads, Instagram, Google ads, and LinkedIn ads. And YouTube, LinkedIn articles, blogs, and direct email messenger bots, Facebook groups. They are kind of direct messages to people, right? See, you must know one thing, right? The reason for this entire perception marketing is to become a big fish in a small pond, right? Become a big fish in a small pond. When you become that big fish, your client sees you everywhere. For the client to see you everywhere, um, the couple of things must happen. One is they must be the right target audience. They must see the right content, and they must see that through proper delivery, proper channel, proper timing, and proper platform, right? So these are the three things you must have in place, right? So here's an example of this perception marketing, right? As I said earlier, we got a lot of examples on this. We've been running it on many different, for many different clients, for us, for me, for our brand, and also for external brands as well, for our different clients, brands, and different places. So perception marketing as a paid example. In this one, I'll talk about Facebook ads only, not anything else. Very specifically, Facebook ad is, we do video one about the similar content which I talked about earlier, with the same content, video one. When people watch that video one, they go to video two, video three, video four, video five, video six, in pretty much video nine, right? So the reason for this is people who watch certain type of content, they get to see the next content after they consume the first, right? So biggest thing with this is not everybody get to see everything, right? Not everybody get to see everything. Only certain people get to see certain things, right? So, and the other thing is, we really want to make sure that we are relevant. See, when people watch your content, it's like a relevancy, right? They're relatable, they're watching it, they're consuming it. Once they consume it, they get to see the next one. Very important, right? So you keep sending them different ones at different times. You don't need to do it. Different tools are available to make it happen for you, but you don't do it. So I'll give you my example. This campaign we ran last year. This is the last year's example. We spent about $600. You can see it on the left hand side, all these videos we put in place. This is the Facebook, and we spent about $600 on this, right? So it's about 600 something, right? So what we did is, this is just in one place, and after that I offered my program, which was costing about $4,000. One person bought it at the end out of that, right? So $4,000 was revenue. So spending about $600 and revenue is about $4,000 was pretty good return on investment, right? So really cool. So really important to see this. So I want to sort of go back to the similar point. So one is, the reason for this entire strategy is to make sure that more and more people know you, like you, and trust you, right? So it's really difficult today to physically go out and meet enough people. Very difficult to see that, right? So on this, you can actually meet, like if you look at these ones, you could probably get to see how many people, watch my video. Like 2,000 people watch my 15 or 30-second videos, right? So 2,000 people, and there's one behind this as well. Let me move this, see if I get to see this. Where did it go? So it's about 4,000 people watched my content, right? So how many? 4,000 people saw my face. See, if 4,000 people saw my face, more likely out of that, probably like, I don't know, 100 people will remember, right? So just a guess, right? So it's really important people get to see you. More and more people get to see you, more and more people likely to like you, and more and more people likely to like you, they're likely to trust you as well, right? So it's really important. So we want to make sure that you put yourself out there in front of lots and lots of people. Physically, it's impossible. You only can meet certain number of people, right, without annoying the hell out of them, right? So in this way, you could actually go out and meet as many as you like, and physically, you're not even doing anything, right? You just have to put a strategy together. Really important. Cool. Does it actually make sense? Are you guys getting the point? Are you guys getting the point, right? Does it make sense? So really important to make this happen for your business, because if you have this running, if you have this happening for your business, I promise you, once you set it up, it's um, it's um, nah, Mitch, not for your business at the moment. Not at the moment, right? Not at the moment. This is yours. Is very pure consulting, so it's not for your business. So it's very important to see what you're selling as well. So this works really well for people who are selling their coaching, consulting, and a service-based business, and they want to have not selling just 1 hour consulting. They want to do more, right? Want to do way more than that. So I think if you decide, Mitch, if you decide to take on the other route, which we talked about, means that you um, want to teach people, you want to help people become a better tradie or something, then it works really well, right? So it's really it works for if you're selling high ticket items as well, right? It won't work for if you're selling a $150 item, right? So if your coaching and consulting one session is about 50, I don't know, $100 or $150, this is not a good strategy, because you're going to end up spending more money. So it won't work for you in this business, right? So very important. So only works for people if you're selling a high ticket item, something is which is more than $500 or $1,000 or beyond, right? So when you do this, it's pretty cool. So as I said earlier, in few times we talked about this in the space, is you must sell offers, right? Don't sell one product. You must have offers bundled together. Means that you do this for people, do that for people, have an offer which is putting things together, everything, right? You teach them, you coach them, you mentor them, you also give them everything for, pretty much everything. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really important. So it won't work for you either, brother. No. So numbers are very important. So um, if you're charging anything less than $500 or $150, this is not for your strategy, because you're going to end up spending a lot of money on this, say 500-600 bucks, and at the end you're just going to make a small. Yes, on the other hand, if you're running a workshop and you want to teach people and you want to invite people into your workshop, perfect strategy. Perfect strategy. So it works for everybody out there who's selling something which is above 500 bucks, right? If you're selling anything less than 500 bucks, no, it won't work for you. Probably work for you, but it's not a good return on investment, right? So you want to make sure that you make money, right? That's the reason for entire strategy. If you can't make money, then it's no point, right? So hope this makes sense, right? So all right, so let's look at this, right? This is pretty cool stuff, right? We've been doing it from last, as I said earlier, for a while now, and done it for many clients as well. Done it for our business, which is pretty cool, works really well as well. uh, um, and we apply this strategy pretty much in every business, right? This is the number one thing. So all right, so let me ask you, any questions on this? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions on this? Or I'm going to stop this and pause the recording and go through the questions.